Okay, good morning everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today we would like to talk about descriptive research, and this is already sixth meeting. No, that is seventh meeting actually. It is adapted from Gay, Mills, and Asian, and I do believe that you have read because I have shared in a Shamoke and in your WhatsApp group. Well, have a look at the discussion. The topic that discussed in this chapter, there will be descriptive research, designing and conducting descriptive research, cell report, data collection methods. Okay. So first thing we are going to talk about what is the purpose of descriptive research. Jadi apa tujuan dari descriptive research itu? As you can see on the slide, that determines and describe the way things are. Jadi tujuannya untuk menentukan dan mendeskripsikan, menggambarkan seperti apa proses dari penelitian kita, menggambarkan atau mendeskripsikan data yang kita peroleh di dalam penelitian kita nanti. And it is compares how subgroups view issues and topics. What is the importance? Apa pentingnya descriptive research itu? Okay, so it is frequently used in research studies. Descriptive research ini paling sering dan paling digemari oleh peneliti ketika mereka ingin melakukan penelitian. It is used to influence opinion, useful for investigating a variety of educational problems. Jadi sangat baik digunakan untuk menginvestigasi jenis-jenis permasalahan yang ada atau yang terjadi di pendidikan. So what are the differences from qualitative research, qualitative and descriptive research? So as you can see on the slide, that descriptive research, it uses questionnaires, tests, observation, and interviews. Sedangkan kualitatif, mereka biasanya menggunakan observasi dan interview. Okay, there is no test. Then, the study topics from the researcher's perspective. Kalau di kualitatif, studies the topic from the participant's perspective. Jadi kualitatif itu lebih condong ke perspektif dari partisipan atau subjek penelitian kita. Okay. There were 6 steps in the conducting descriptive research. Jadi ada beberapa step yang kita lakukan ketika kita akan melakukan penelitian deskriptif. Yang pertama yaitu identify the problem that we have done in the first meeting, that Memaini assigns you to look for the article, the journals, and then you try to identify the problem that maybe you can find research gap or background from those articles. Okay, and then try to review the literature. Kalian akan mereview literature yang ada kaitannya dengan topik penelitian kalian. And then you try to select the participants and instrument. Pastinya kalian akan mendesain seperti apa pemilihan subjek penelitiannya. And then how would you determine the instruments that you are going to use. And then collect valid and reliable data. Of course, it should valid and reliable. Okay, biasanya ada validity test dan reliability testnya. After that, you try to analyze data before you have your own conclusion. Okay, the descriptive study or descriptive research, we commonly find the errors like a lack of participants' response, ya, rendahnya respon dari partisipan yang kalian tentukan ketika kalian mengirimkan angket via email. Okay, tidak akan semua partisipan langsung membalas atau memberikan tanggapannya. Okay, so that we have to try to give the anticipation from those problems. Okay, the second one is difficulties in interpreting the findings without the data representing non-respondents' views. Biasanya kita kewalahan atau kesulitan mendeskripsikan data yang sebenarnya bukan berasal dari partisipan yang kita sudah tentukan dari awal. Okay. And another common errors are unclear or ambiguous items. Ada beberapa items yang tidak sesuai. Okay. Researchers needs to develop recording forms that collect data objectively and reliably. And we have the classification of descriptive research, classified by how data are collected. We have self-report, yaitu individual respond to statement or questions about themselves. Jadi ada pendapat dari participants itu personally, okay. And then there is we call observation. Data is collected by the researcher watching participants. So you watch and you observe the participants, can be online or in-person class. Dan tentunya ada observation checklist yang akan kalian gunakan pada saat kalian melakukan observasi ini. Okay, the next one is the survey data collection methods. Jadi di descriptive research ini kita ada yang namanya survey data. So, surveys represent the most common type of self-report measures. Biasanya instrumen yang digunakan itu adalah questionnaire dan interview. The advantages of conducting surveys is less time is required. Okay, it's less expenses are incurred, and larger samples can be used, of course. There are 5 types of surveys. Ada beberapa types atau jenis dari survey itu sendiri. Ada school survey, we have sample surveys, developmental surveys, cross-sectional surveys, and longitudinal surveys, yaitu kalian mengumpulkan data 2 or more times to measure the change. Biasanya ini kita melakukan pengukuran untuk mengetahui perubahan itu bukan hanya 1 kali, tapi lebih dari 2 kali, bahkan lebih. Okay. How do we conduct survey research? The first thing that we are going to do is state the problem. Of course, the topic must be of sufficient significance to motivate a respondent and justify the research report. Jadi, gimana caranya kita men-state problem? We have to think about the participants or the respondents' motivation, because we try to ensure that they are having or they are interested in our research. And then the second one is select the participants. Must be able to provide the desired information and must be willing to participate. Jadi ketika kita memilih partisipan, cari yang betul-betul they are willing to participate, so they will eager to help you to find the data or the needs that you want to have for your research. Then constructing the questionnaire. Try to visually attractive, use of white space, of course, and brief. Remember, brief. Okay. Carefully plan content and item formats. So clearly identify the subject or the subtopics, and then use structured items if possible, and then use responses that can be checked or circled rather than written. Jadi pilih yang hindari memberikan questionnaire yang terlalu panjang, meminta penjelasan dari mereka. Paling tidak kalian akan menyediakan questionnaire yang mereka biasanya langsung lingkari atau pick the answer or tick the answer. Okay, and then we have the methods to collect data. Ini yang memaksudkan ada mail surveys and email surveys. Mail surveys, you can send your questionnaire ataupun kuesionernya bisa dikirimkan via email, tapi ada sedikit kekurangannya karena dari email itu biasanya ada beberapa responden yang tidak langsung menjawab atau merespon angket kita atau kuesioner kita, sehingga kalian akan kekurangan atau partisipan kalian akan berkurang, responnya akan berkurang. So that is disadvantages. Kalau kita memberikan angket yang langsung kita bagikan setelah treatment misalnya, ataupun in-person class, it will be more effective, I believe, because the participants or respondents can directly ask you when they don't understand or they want to confirm something. Okay, and then we have telephone surveys, personal administration, and personal interview. The personal interview, I do believe that most of students in English Education Department, okay, the advantages, reach complete responses, and then you can directly have their response without waiting for. And the types of items, ada beberapa items di sini, the structure item and unstructured. Structure item closed-ended selection, unstructured ini open-ended, biasanya dia akan berkembang berdasarkan jawaban yang diberikan oleh responden semua. Ada yang lebih spesifik lagi yaitu Likert scales. Ini scale yang biasa kalian gunakan atau senior kalian gunakan di bidang pendidikan bahasa Inggris. They are trying to use Likert scale. Strongly agree, disagree, and strongly disagree. That is the example. Dan ada yang namanya rankings, checklist, okay, and then free responses. Qualities of good items, ada beberapa qualities dari seperti apa item dari questionnaire yang it has a great quality. Yang pertama, address a single concept, ya, avoid jargon, menghindari istilah-istilah yang digunakan subjek ataupun jurusan tertentu misalnya, ya. Kemudian include point of references, of course, referensinya harus jelas. Avoid leading question, hindari pertanyaan-pertanyaan yang contohnya imperative question, ya. And then avoid sensitive question, don't assume a facts not necessarily true, and then provide information on how to respond. And ada questionnaire design, okay, don't crowd items, number page items, you should pay attention on it. Jumlah dari halaman questionnaire-nya, ensure that the page is not really much for the students or for the respondents. And don't put important question at the end. Biasanya important question itu di depan ataupun di tengah. Okay? And constructing a cover letter. You should explain what is being asked and why. Jadi biasanya sebelum questionnaire itu ada pendahuluan. Kalian akan menjelaskan identitas kalian, penelitiannya tentang apa, kemudian apa-apa poin atau item yang akan kalian tanyakan. Dan kontennya itu must a brief description of the study, contact information, organizational endorsement or support, deadline for responding. Jadi tentukan di situ, tulis deadline-nya, stamp self-address return envelope misalnya, ya. Ada juga anonymity and confidentially. Kalian mungkin bisa meyakinkan responden kalian jika mereka tidak ingin dipublikasikan, you can ensure that they can write it down anonymity. Okay? Confidentially used to track respondent and non-respondent and usually ensure by coding names. Biasanya inisial saja. Okay. Pretest the questionnaire. Biasanya ada kita uji coba ataupun validasi questionnaire kita, kemudian follow-up activities, reminder postcard, second survey, and telephoning a small sample of non-respondent. Okay, so we are going to continue later. This is the first part of descriptive research. If you have any question,